So there's this new app, One of 10 Finder. And you're probably watching this video because you want to know if it's actually worth it or not. Chances are you've heard your favorite YouTube strategists rave about this app. Everyone from Film Booth to Colin Samir, to Think Media, and even my good friend, April and Alter. They are all talking about it. And it's crazy, right? They talk about how this game-changing app can actually help you find your next video title, idea, and thumbnail much faster, save you hours and hours of research, and find trending outliers in your niche with just one click. But the real question is this true? Or is your favorite YouTube guru just trying to cash in on that sweet 40% affiliate commission? Not gonna lie, it is pretty sweet though. Because just the other day, I saw this comment on Reddit saying, I think I saw someone peddling this service the other day and it's $50 a month. No way you would have to make revenue over $50 for it to be worth it, and there's no guarantee. So I'm here to bring it all together for you. And what makes this review different from anybody else's is that I've actually bought it, refunded it, and rebought it, and now I'm a customer for life. And it wasn't for this affiliate video. Today we're gonna break down a few things. We're gonna break down the problems with traditional YouTube research, what is One of 10 Finder, the pros of it, the cons of it, how to use and maximize it, go over what others have said about One of 10 Finder and see if they're true or not, and who should actually consider One of 10 Finder and who should just pass completely. Just to be open and honest, they did not sponsor this video. I bought this with my own hard-earned money, and if you don't trust me, here's the receipts, along with my refund receipt too. The only kickback I get is if you use my affiliate link, which really goes to supporting this channel and supporting my editors. To sweeten the deal, what I've also am doing is if you do buy One of 10 Finder, I'll throw any discount codes on top of my affiliate link because your boy is always negotiating on your behalf. Check out this receipt. And so since this is also the ultimate review, what I'll do is leave timestamps so you can skip ahead and skip around. But let's get into it. So let's talk about the major problem with traditional YouTube research. If you're a creator, then you probably ask yourself, how exactly do you get someone to click? What did the top YouTuber know that we don't? And shout out to April Lynn if you're watching this video at all. Here's the real problem. Finding viral videos on the YouTube platform takes way too long. I've been on the YouTube platform way before we had apps like One of 10 Finder. I know I'm freaking old. And I haven't hit YouTube success. Film Booth actually had a really great video about this. But to give you an idea of what the YouTube process was like, back in the day, what we had to do was type in a random keyword from TubeBuddy, which is a horrible tool, by the way, in my opinion. We had to filter the videos within the last year because we didn't want an outdated video from like 13 years ago. We would scroll endlessly, like all the way to page 10, just trying to find that one killer thumbnail. We would also download vidIQ and compare the views to subscriber ratio, just to make sure that algo was pushing out that video. We would screenshot everything into a Google Doc, then forget where you saved the file or that you even had this file to begin with, which I did all the time. When more technology came out, I would save everything to a Notion board or a Pinterest board to set up a mood board as well. If you can't tell, this whole process took about 1 to 2 days. I hated just planning out my YouTube videos. It was a huge hindrance to my whole process. And I wasn't good at it either, clearly, right? Even when I wanted to outsource something like this, I tried using Fiverr or Upwork, but that failed hard because a lot of these people's ideas were just really bad. But what if, with just one click of a button, you could get the most viral videos on the platform? Or even better, what if you could filter out the top performing videos within your niche? And this, my friends, is where One of 10 Finder comes into play. So you're probably wondering, like, what the heck is One of 10 Finder? One of 10 Finder sounds just like what it does in the name. If you've ever been in the YouTube app, you'll always see that dreaded 10 video ranking. It'll basically rank your last 10 videos, and 1 of 10 is the highest possible score that you can have. And so One of 10 Finder is exactly how it sounds. It helps you find the 1 of 10 videos or top performing videos on YouTube. It helps with 3 different areas: viral video research, video ideas, and performance tracking. All you need to do is actually enter a keyword or select a niche, and boom, you have all the videos filtered by niche, and it'll list out videos which you can filter down. There's also this really cool option in 1 of 10 where you can hit click similar videos and it will pull similar videos that are kind of like that video too. So here is a breakdown of the 5 main features of 1 of 10. Now, there's a lot of different features that you don't get with the native YouTube platform. We'll talk about this later, but you can filter down the multiplier, the subscribers, video to sub ratio, video duration, when the video was published. Kind of like my Stalker X, you can actually stalk or keep track of a channel to just creep on for creators that inspire you or people who are in your industry where you want to model from. You can actually save your favorite thumbnail designs and bookmark your favorite videos and have it all on one board. So your thumbnail strategist, or if you're doing the thumbnails, you have one place where you're just like, oh, these are some killer thumbnails I can model from. Not steal from, model from. Don't steal. You can see what's trending in your niche or the area of topic that you want to talk about. This, in my opinion, is very helpful for seeing trending video ideas, titles, and formats in the niche to stand out. For example, one of the things that I find very popular right now is tier ranking. It's across all niches. I've seen tier ranking like everything from juice to books to fighting characters as well. It's really interesting. But without having that data, I would never kind of known that. And the last one is there's a Discord community where other creators can paste the outliers they notice or get feedback on their titles and thumbnails. I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of dead there, but we'll talk about that later. So One of 10 Finder claims that I can save hours of time. It can speed up view growth by using data from high-performing videos. But is this actually true? While we could talk about features all day, chances are you probably don't care about that. So let's talk about the actual pros and cons of One of 10 that I've personally found by using this app. Let's start off with the pros. So the first thing that I noticed is that you can find viral content pretty fast. The Mr. Beastification of YouTube completely sucks. Everyone is copying each other's thumbnails, the titles, and you see the same recycled things over and over again. And it definitely doesn't help when YouTuber gurus like Hamza tell you to steal the exact title and thumbnail of other creators.
So if you just copy someone's title, which is something I recommend,
there's no innovation on the platform. And because your boy is not a piece of I think market research is really important, not to just copy, but to really innovate and create new things on the platform. For me, I use One of 10 Finder to do 3 things. I like to draw inspiration from other niches that I can bring into my niche of like business and life advice from your best friend. I don't know, I need a better tag or something like that. Second thing is find viral videos so I can find out what's actually working on the platform that the audience kind of finds interesting or relatable or entertaining to watch. And 3, it helps me find the videos and look in the comments to see if there's unanswered questions that people actually have. Basically, the TLDR is One of 10 Finder helps me learn how to make already great video even better. And like I mentioned before in the first part, the problem is it just takes a really long time trying to do this market research. I would find myself spending a whole entire day just trying to find outlier content. This is time I could have used to do jujitsu or reading or spent it saving my relationship with my ex-girlfriend. But now I can actually type in my title or keywords to test my idea before even starting the video. And I can get an idea of what's working in terms of the content packaging. If you're scratching your head, you're just like, Kevin, I have no idea what you mean by content packaging. It comes down to title, thumbnail, and topic. And basically, it's just a fancy word of how do I present this video idea in the most viral way possible, or in the most entertaining way possible, which leads me to the second pro. One of 10 Finder actually helps you get better with titles, thumbnails, and video ideas. So new YouTubers often make this big mistake. They film their video before doing their title and thumbnail first. I mean, I used to do this all the time, and I would just spend so much time shooting my video, editing my video, and then be like, oh man, I gotta do the thumbnail. And then the thumbnail just be complete trash. But something that's really changed the dynamic of my YouTube team and what we do here is I like to think of the thumbnail, title, and content packaging as your movie trailer. These are important because it kind of sets the expectation of what the video is about, but also the feel of the video. I mean, how weird would it be to get a dark dystopian like Jake Tran video and just have it be all happy and joyful and positive? It's a weird vibe. But when you're starting out on YouTube, it's really tough not only to get the look of something, but also the feel of a viral YouTube video. And that's the hard part about YouTube thumbnails and titles. It's not exactly logical, it's really emotional. So let's take a look at these 2 thumbnails. Here's thumbnail number 1, and here's thumbnail number 2. What did you notice? What's really interesting is the first thumbnail was actually one of Ali's first videos that he ever did. And the second one was a viral video that went viral on the YouTube platform. And so you're probably left asking yourself, like, what is the difference between these two? And you have to notice it many, many times and go through pattern recognition. Making a great thumbnail is telling your video idea without saying it. It's more about implicit communication versus explicit communication. That is the secret to a killer thumbnail. But how do you build this skill up? And the old school way, if you want to do this, was open up Chrome incognito, go on to Explorer page and keep on scrolling, scrolling, scrolling. When something catches your eye, you stop. You take notes on the things, the elements, like how did they make the thumbnail? What is the topic? What is the title? How are they formatting it? Mostly taking notes on how this piece of content made you feel, because one of the worst things that you can do for thumbnails is just to feel neutral about it. Neutral usually doesn't get the clicks. And this is a problem that I've actually had quite a bit. But if you do this old school tactic of like scrolling on incognito, you quickly notice that the general public loves things like the Mr. Beast challenges, the NBA highlights, right? Or the next gaming loot boxes. But if you're like me, you're probably not making content for kids. And this is where 1 of 10 comes into play. I found it very helpful for sorting all the trending videos by category. Also adding my own categories and keywords if they're not available. This is a new feature that they included probably within the last month that I find so helpful. The third thing is the similar topic button that you can just hit and it will populate other videos that are very similar to it and all that. It's not the most accurate, but it does do a pretty good job at finding other videos. And so here I can see the common patterns and even get inspiration from other niches. What I'll do a lot of times is I'll go on my phone just like here. I'll log in to 1 of 10 and select a niche and just keep on scrolling, and I'll do the same exercise that I was talking about before. But it is filtered specifically with my niche, and I think that is a great way to learn the look and feel of thumbnail titles and ideas. Even though I still suck at them, I think my team, my thumbnail designer and video editor find this really, really helpful, hopefully. But now we can start sourcing our data and creating videos from top performing videos already, and it'll show us how to make better thumbnails, titles, and video ideas to begin with. Which leads me to next pro. The advanced filters save so much freaking time. So as you dive into this YouTube journey, something that most of your YouTube strategist gurus say is that you should look at videos that are within a year of posting due to the algorithm changes. Find videos that have a high view to subscriber ratio, because it means that the algorithm is pushing beyond their subscriber base. Have a 10x multiplier from the average views, and find videos that are at least 8 minutes long for those sweet, sweet mid-roll ads for that sweet, sweet ads installers. Your boy just gotta eat, right? But before 1 of 10 Finder actually came out, this was always really, really hard to do. Like, there was no way to see the average like views to subscriber ratio. I literally had to put it in Excel or Airtable and just manually calculate it every single time. And there was no way to even do another filter on top of that, because you have 1 subscriber and get 2 views. That data is not statistically significant. And so you can filter all these different things, and I find it very, very helpful. What 1 of 10 Finder does is it does all the heavy lifting of filtering, so my brain doesn't have to do it, and where my brain can just focus on what catches my eye instead. If there's no good results, which sometimes happens, especially if you're in a really niche area, we can always broaden our search. If you're really, really curious about my search settings, which actually change the game for us, you can screenshot this really quickly. I'll count to 3. 1, 2, 3. And something cool I've also noticed about 1 of 10 Finder, and this is more of the team, is that they're always updating this app and listening to our feedback, which is pretty sick. I'm looking at my phone right now, but there was no view to subscriber ratio, but since it was really requested, they actually implemented it into their app. It's really reassuring knowing that they're listening to us. The first time I refunded, they literally asked what were some of the reasons why I refunded, and then when I rebought, they incorporated some new features that weren't there before. So that was really cool. But let's go into the 4th pro. It's really great with teams. So maybe you're like me and you're probably not a 1-person team. If you do have a team, the real question isn't about like, how do I make myself more productive? It changes to like, how do I make my team do better work in the easiest way possible? And that's how I've been using 1 of 10 Finder as a team enablement solution, which honestly is just a fancy word of a tool or solution that helps my team do better work more easily without blowing their brains out. hopefully that doesn't get monetized. So how do we actually use this? Well, when I come up with an idea, my YouTube strategist and I will use 1 of 10 Finder to pick out the best ideas that our audience might vibe with. The second thing is we'll copy and paste that into a Notion board. We'll take 3 videos that we found from 1 of 10 that fit our criteria and put it in so that we can model from it. Our thumbnail designer will use 1 of 10 Finder to create 2 variations. I mean, I let the thumbnail strategist do his thing, but usually one of the ideas will be within our niche. Another one will be outside our niche. We also have a team inspiration board that I'm actually creating. I've been using Pinterest before, but I'm really liking this 1 of 10 thing just because it's a lot easier. Then the script writer will look at those videos that are outliers. We'll look in the comments for unanswered questions, and they'll look for the most helpful parts of the video. And then the last thing is the video editor can see how they edited the video and reverse engineer it for things like retention. What parts were the most interesting? What parts were the most boring? So now 1 of 10 isn't just a solo solution, it's really a team solution, which makes our lives so much easier. Since my time is worth way more than $50 an hour, and I know a lot of people complain about the cost, which we'll talk about the cons in a bit, but this is a no-brainer if I'm paying a team and if it's improving the productivity of these 3 different roles that I'm hiring for, and it boosts their productivity by 10x. Okay, so these are all the pros of 1 of 10 Finder. What are some of the cons? Let's dive into it. Let's get the first thing out of the way. It's expensive as. So at the time of this shooting, 1 of 10 Finder is $49 per month or $349 per year, and they do not offer a trial. And if the 1 of 10 team is watching this, it would really help to have something like a free trial. That would really help make our decision. 1 of 10 is not the most easiest app to use, but it was a common thing even said in these Reddit comments below. I'll be honest, 1 of 10 Finder isn't thousands of dollars. In my hourly rate, if I'm doing 4 videos per month, that breaks down into roughly like $17 per video-ish. Sorry if my math is a little off. And my time is worth way more than that. But for an app, I would consider this pretty expensive at $50 per month. And this is especially true if you are a new creator and you're not bringing in any AdSense or anything like that. By the way, if you are considering any of these, I would highly suggest the year subscription. And let's kind of break down the math for the break-even point. You pretty much need 70K views to break even as a YouTube partner with AdSense at $5 RPM. In case you don't know what RPM is, it's basically just a fancy word of how much you get paid per 1,000 views. With a $5 RPM, you're making $5 for every 1,000 views. In my opinion, if you focus on YouTube for a year, there's a really good chance to have a hit video that will hit 70K views. You might be watching this and you're probably thinking, I need to make money first before investing into a 1 of 10 Finder. And the tough part is, this is a catch 101. You basically need a viral video to make money, but you don't have enough money in the business to invest in tools like this. For me, I've spent $50 on dumber things like steak dinners and all that. But if I were completely new, I would just try it out for a month or so. And I would probably skip out on tools like TubeBuddy or vidIQ and just treat 1 of 10 Finder like an investment. Based off my experience, like tools like vidIQ or TubeBuddy give the worst ideas, like for titles and video ideas, at least what I've seen. So in my opinion, I think that $50 per month is worth getting the data-backed high-performing videos data. I find it worth it being able to learn and study the thumbnails that are trending, figure out what makes ideas pop out within your niche, and how to make your existing videos better, like how I explained in the pro section. And even if you take an L for the first year, I think it's cheaper than coaching and the insights are a lot more valuable. I think it's worth investing in the skill if you're a long-term creator, but you can be the judge of that. Let's talk about the second con. It has very limited categories. But when I first signed up for 1 of 10 Finder, the categories were really limited and they weren't really relevant to me. There was like DIY like channels and all that didn't really apply to me at all. They had weird categories like gardening, like DIY and entertainment. And I hate to say, I am not in the gardening niche and I don't think anybody would want to watch videos from your boy about growing tomatoes, right? And because it wasn't really specific to me is why I refunded the first time. But if we fast forward today, I rebought One of 10 Finder for two reasons. I can use the search bar to look up my own videos, but also the second thing is like I can add my own categories and save it to my favorites. So if I want to do digital marketing, I can add that as a keyword into One of 10 Finder. Still, at the end of the day, I really wish that there was more default categories. And ideally, if, one of the cool things, I don't know if they can actually do this, but you know how YouTube at the top on your personal homepage, it has all these different categories. Ideally, if it could sync to my channel, that would be amazing. But I don't know. That would be a really cool feature to have. Let's go into the third con. It's really overwhelming at first. Like, in order to use this app, there's a bit of technical know-how that you need to have with this. If anyone has used something like One of 10 Finder, you probably logged in before and you just see all these videos and you're just like, okay, what do I do next? How do I actually use it? And yes, they do have tutorials, but they're like 30 minutes long. And honestly, like no one wants to watch those tutorials after paying $300 to $400. Maybe that's just me. That's my bias, right? But I don't want to do that. And so if you really want to make it valuable, we'll talk about it in the next section, is really, I would start off with three things. One, set up your customized advanced filters. I took mine from Film Booth and my own personal preferences. The second thing is add in your own categories in the search bar. My suggestion would be to look at the categories you watch on YouTube and put those in a One of 10 Finder. Then three, I would start scrolling and bookmarking at the thumbnails that really would catch my eye. This scrolling feature is a game changer. I'll talk about it more in the maximize section. Whenever I get a video idea too, what I'll do is type in the general title and then I'll look for outlier videos and just hit similar videos to get better context or find lookalike videos there too. By the way, I am not a pro with One of 10. I've just used it for quite a bit. So if you have any suggestions on how to maximize this, check the comments. I hope that other people will share their experience with One of 10. And let's go on to the fourth con. You can't block out those compilation videos. I don't know if there's anything that One of 10 can do, but something I found really annoying was like those weird compilation videos and those morning motivation videos. For some reason, those things do super well and they'll always pop up on my feed. For me, that's a really non-related video, right? Like as someone who does like talking head videos and all that, I prefer videos that have more personal brand or human-human connection, not just like faceless channels. Not to say I can't get any value from those, but sometimes like I'll get these compilations and I wish there was a way to exclude these type of videos altogether. As far as the other features, like some of the things I was thinking about talking about was like the Discord, how it's not like super active, but I think since One of 10 is relatively new, it's too early to comment on that because it is quite quiet in there. I think some of these cons, especially with the limited categories and just being overwhelmed, were some of the reasons why I refunded, which leads me to the next section. How do you maximize your experience with One of 10 and get the most benefit out of it? So let's talk about that next. So let's get into the most important part of the video is how to maximize One of 10 Finder. Like I mentioned before, the first time I bought One of 10 Finder, I actually ended up returning it. But that was because I didn't really know how to use the app to justify the cost of it. So here are 5 quick tips on how to get started with One of 10 Finder ASAP that, in my opinion, make it worth it. So let's go over tip number 1, getting their free Chrome extension. In case you don't know, One of 10 Finder actually has a really great Chrome extension. It's completely free whether you buy it or don't buy it. There's 2 good things about it. One, it highlights the outlier ratio and color codes them. So if you see something like 10x, it means it did 10x the median views of this video of this channel. And this applies both to short form and long form content. The second thing is you can view the thumbnails directly on a page. I find this really cool because in the past I used to use thumbsup.tv or clickpilot.app. What's really cool is that you can preview your thumbnails directly on the page. So for example, if I take this thumbnail on ClickFunnels Gurus and then I'll put my name, what we can do is do a random placement on our Explore page or something and preview it. So if we go back, it will take one of the thumbnails and just like put it on the Explore page so we can see if it actually pops out or not, if that makes sense. You can also add multiple variations. So for example, I did this thumbnail, but let's say if I want to do the other thumbnail, what I can do is this and then preview it here. And now we can see these 2 different thumbnails and stuff like that and which one pops out. This is really helpful if you're doing it on the subscription feed right now, but if you use the Explore page, this is very helpful to see if you have something that visually captures attention. The second thing to make 1 of 10 really worth it for you is setting up your advanced filter settings. In my opinion, the filter settings are everything because it helps narrow all the videos down on the platform. It took me a while to kind of figure this out, but I had to look around quite a bit, and I stumbled upon a film booth video to help me set this up. What I've done is I'll walk you through my different settings and I'll walk you through all the important ones. So first one is the multiplier. One of the things I want to do is look for outlier videos. So I set a 10x multiplier, and basically this is the multiplier against the median views of the channel. So if like a video normally does 1,000 views average, it's looking for everything that's 10,000 and up in terms of views. You can set absolute views, subscribers, video duration, the views to subscriber ratio, which is really important. If this is higher, then it means that the algo gods are showing this beyond to non-subscribers. And then the median views as well. So you can set all that. Oh, well, not the most important one, but an important one to check off is the publication date. So I usually like to do the last 6 months to last year versus like all time, right? If I'm trying to study like human psychology about like what people have really liked in the past, for sure I'll do all time, but I usually like to keep things within a year to 6 months. Another thing that I don't think anybody's really talked about is scrolling endlessly on mobile. I find this really helpful for understanding content packaging, which what I was talking about earlier. So thumbnails, ideas, and the titles. And typically what I like to do is use 1 of 10 Finder on my phone and just keep on scrolling. So what I'll do is I'll pick a category and I'll scroll for like 10 minutes just to understand the look and feel of what's trending right now. I'll bookmark the things that really catch my eye. So if you're kind of curious about an example of this, I'll go on my phone right now and let's do something like productivity. So when we're productivity, usually this bar thing doesn't really like, it's not always in the way, but what I'll do is start scrolling. And I'll scroll and I'll scroll, and maybe this thumbnail really catches my attention. I'll go similar videos, and what I'll do is actually, you can watch the video here and look straight at the comments.
You know you are a lazy.
Look at things that people are saying. Used to be trapped in the rat race. These are comments I look for. The ones that kind of like share stories and personal stories. Used to be trapped in a rat race, then 2 of my colleagues died. This is a really, really good, relatable, emotional story, because to leave a comment in general, it usually takes a lot, especially this day and age. But we can do that, and then we can also bookmark by hitting this bookmark button, but I'm not going to do that. And then we can also track the channel here. So now you can start building this like swipe file. This is what people used to do back in copywriting, but basically a resource that has all your favorite things, your favorite videos, your favorite channels and all that, and saves it for inspiration later. The next thing I'll do is I'll type in my keywords or title before starting any sort of video. So like I said earlier, I hate people who copy. And yes, I'm throwing shade to all those Mr. Beast copycats who steal ideas from smaller creators. But before starting a video, what I like to do is market research on what's working on YouTube, like I mentioned before. It not only gives me ideas for content packaging, but also gives me ideas on how to make it in existing videos better. So what I'll do is I'll type in my title and I'll watch a few videos to figure out 3 things. I'll look at the things that I liked and didn't like. I'll check the comments section to see what's helpful and look for unanswered questions. And I'll check out the transcript of the main value prop and hook of the script. Maybe one of the things that I want to do, a video in the past I've done, is go high level, worth it. And now I have this working title, and I can see the thumbnails, like for example here, what hits and what doesn't hit. I'm not getting a lot of great results, so what I'll do is maybe I will lessen the multiplier because it's a very niche like thing, and just see what hits. And basically this is the only one that's really been hitting. It's this tutorial. And so it gives me an idea of like what formats are already working, what, and maybe I'll look for similar topics. Okay, cool. I'm still not seeing anything. This is the only go high level thing I see. But what I'll do is, because 1 of 10 Finder helped me find this video, what I'll do is like the thumbnails, it implies a lot of the things that what the video is about. So I like how like it immediately caught my eye. It looks different from the other videos if there's more videos on go high level. What I'll do is now that I have the video identified, I will look at the hook of the video. I'll look at kind of like the unanswered questions. So right now I don't see any, other than amazing video, I'm trying to look for things that are unanswered, you know, or elements of like, oh, I'm searching for a course like this. Thank you for valuable information. Like this question, can we integrate another payment provider? Maybe in my video, I can answer these questions. So I'm looking for things that I can make my video way better. There's like other websites like YouTube's transcript.com. So we can see from the hook, I'm going to describe what it is that High Level actually does, what High Level excels at, and all that too. So it's really interesting. And then he uses a Pokemon analogy right here too. So I get to study things like the hook and the setup of this video. The fifth thing is if you have a team, and when I say team, it's just like maybe you're hiring contractors or something like that. So one of the other things that I find very valuable is giving access to one of 10 Finder in my team. And we can use this tool to bake in our processes, and we'll put it into a creative brief. So one of the things we'll do is we'll just screenshot things or bookmark it just to see what's trending on the platform. So this concept for this video that I'm doing on high income skills worth learning for YouTubers, I got the inspiration from this Nisha video, Don't Fall Behind, High Income Skills to Learn Today. Okay. And then this one did really, really well by Oler. I can never say his name, but he does really, really great videos. But he has a 8x and 3.5x video too. Don't fall behind, high income skills worth learning. So what I'm gonna do is probably do a take on this and use this don't fall behind in the thumbnail or some sort. I'll let my thumbnail designer kind of do it, but this is what I'm thinking about too. So this thumbnail designer can look for similar thumbnail, viral thumbnails, and they can find concepts both inside and outside the niche. My YouTube strategist can look for videos that fit my brand with 1 to 10 Finder. And my video editor can see the retention strategies in the videos that are popping off for this as well. This, in my opinion, is how I can justify the $349 that cost me to get 1 of 10 Finder to help my team do a better job. So what I've done is actually compiled a bunch of comments that people have had about 1 of 10, and let's go over them, see if they're true. If you don't give about what other people say, fast forward this section. We have this insightful comment by Trevor, says terrible. There's this other comment that says it doesn't show scores. I tried refreshing, everything is not working. What I find is that if you have multiple apps, things like vidIQ and all that, you need to disable them for the multiplier to show up. Because if we look at my YouTube right now, and we go over to, actually we'll do Wanhee. He has a bunch of viral videos. But if we go to his videos, you can see that it pops up. But if we manage our extensions and we go to vidIQ, we toggle this on and now we refresh. Looks like it's still working, but yeah. So I don't know. Let's move on to the next one. 1 to 10 is incredibly useful for helping me come up with ideas faster. It allows me to know who's working on YouTube at any given time, and it allows me to find hidden gems I didn't know existed. It's one of the best, if not the best, YouTube extensions. I would highly agree. Like, honestly, I've found so many cool creators, smaller creators that haven't gotten viral or haven't hit my feed yet. And it's been really helpful there for me as well. The 1 to 10 outlier finder is my single most used feature. I would agree with that. Second most common one is that thumbnail thing that I showed you guys earlier. But yes, it does speed up research, ideation process. I would agree with Tim right over here. Probably the best YouTube extension you can find, even if it's just free. I highly recommend this. Although the clean UI, they've actually updated the UI. It used to be a lot more confusing before, but it's a lot simpler. By far the most useful tool. It makes it easy to find proven ideas, saves time. And then I found this thing on Reddit by Zelsfin. Honestly, no. Unless you're interested in creating specific videos you may not have much interest in and who can possibly do nothing for your channel. I saw someone peddling the service the other day. It's $50 a month. No way you would have to make revenue over $50 to be worth it, and there's no guarantee. The gurus are there to sell you stuff and make money, not help you in a meaningful way. I would probably argue against this. Like any entrepreneurial endeavor, this person is right. There is no guarantee. But at the end of the day, you're paying for a service. You're paying for good quality data, and with better data, hopefully we can make better decisions. Now, it's up to someone if they want to pay $50 per month for it. I highly recommend not doing the month to month. I would just do the 1 year, but if you want to do the month to month, you're more than happy to. But think about it. Like I said, if we have clear guidelines, if we're trying to get a video that's over 70K views, then we have a clear idea of when it's worth it. And especially if you're investing into teams and all that already, it probably helps having a tool like this because it helps across the board. My opinion, you can definitely take the opinion of this guy, but at the end of the day, this is a SaaS. It's a solution, and you can choose to invest in it or not. Oh yes, and then there's this other Reddit comment about their experience. The no free trial part kept me away, so that's what I meant by the 1 of 10 Finder team. If you can include a free trial, that'd be amazing. I know that increases a lot more complexity, but it just makes the transition a lot easier. And so, but basically in the extension store, it has a 4.4 out of 5 stars. So pretty much all the elements that I was mentioning before, but that's the only difference. So at this point, you're probably like, who is 1 of 10 actually for, and who would I recommend it to? Like I said, for me, I find that it helps with titles, thumbnails, and ideas, and it helps us make better videos by getting better quality data. Honestly, it hasn't replaced my YouTube strategist, so my YouTube strategist should be pretty happy because he still has a job, but it's changing how we do market research. Keep in mind, I am biased because I do have an affiliate link, but this is who I think 1 of 10 Finder is a no-brainer for. And I'll also cover the people who should probably pass on 1 of 10. And there's 4 people who I think would really benefit from 1 of 10. The first thing, you're new to titles, thumbnails, and ideas in a new niche, or you just want to improve your game. So something I think about a lot is that it takes the same amount of time to do a crappy video as a really, really viral video. If you think about it, you pay your video editor the same. Production time is relatively the same unless you're doing some Mr. Beast type of stuff. But in general, it's the same amount of resources. So if we're going to invest the same amount of resources, why not shift the odds in our favor? And one of those things that we can really focus on is content packaging, of how to package the idea in the most viral way. Chances are, if you're new to YouTube, you don't have the look and most importantly, the feel of a viral thumbnail. I know it's something that I'm personally working on and I've been focusing on the last 3 months. Because like I mentioned earlier, you can endlessly scroll on YouTube on the Explore page. As we know, it's mostly kids and mainstream like night shows on that main page. So if I was new, how I would use 1 of 10 is I would spend 10 minutes a day. I would apply the filters that we talked about earlier. I would start scrolling within my niche and get a feel of what's already working, and then I would remix those ideas. And what I like to do is take 1 or 2 of those ideas and try to see if I can combine them. So for example, when I was looking at 1 in 10, there's this whole interview format of asking millionaires on the street their opinions. And then there's a whole tier list. And imagine if you could do a video asking millionaires to rank their favorite books on a tier list example. That's the first thing. 2, you are a YouTube strategist, thumbnail designer, or agency owner. Obviously, if you have a business, you're probably making revenue providing these services, and you probably have many clients. And when you have many clients, one of the things that clients look for are data-backed ideas, and they're looking for trends. And so if you're an agency owner or a service provider, something I think about is you can easily spot trends that are working on the platform with just 1 click. You can remix those ideas and thumbnails with data-backed ideas, and they can be both inside and outside your niche. And you can test out your thumbnails and titles on the Explore page with just a click. Really, at the end of the day, it just reduces the friction of everything that we talked about earlier. Finding ideas and just testing ideas and just like being able, the ease of just putting your thumbnail on the Explore page. That did not exist before, and it's relatively frictionless. And when you're dealing with so many video ideas, that's even more important. The third person I would consider 1 of 10 for is like if you have a team or you want to hire a team. This is very true if you have a YouTube strategist or thumbnail designer like we talked about earlier. earlier. It's just for the same reasons that we talked about before. But I find that this app has really increased the quality and ROI of our team since we can source from data-backed ideas. A lot of times, like me and my thumbnail designer kind of knows my branding at this point because we have an inspiration board, or my thumbnail designer can actually see all the videos that we bookmark. And it's so much easier to ask my thumbnail designer to look at my mood board rather than try to explain the vision of every single thing. Honestly, at the end of the day, they're the expert. I just want them to use the best practices, just give them a guide of kind of like what I'm looking for in the general direction. The last one is if you're YouTube partner approved for AdSense. Again, a lot of people are like, hey, I'm not making enough money to justify the cost, but something I think about is like, all you need is 70K views in 1 year with $5 CPM to make this worth it. I don't know your particular CPM, but you can do the numbers. And really the question to ask is, can I get X amount of views within 1 year? And it doesn't have to be with one video either. And imagine if you could replicate this for every single video. By having access to a 70K view video, you're more likely to have banger video than video that does really I can't think of a better word. Adjust it to your own RPM, but to me, this is a no-brainer. Now, there's two types of people that I would not recommend 1 of 10 for. One, you want a DIY solution. The truth is, you don't need this tool to do this. You can do everything manually, especially if you're on a tight budget. Just know that it will take a lot longer. So if you want to do a DIY solution, all you need to do is you can still download the Chrome extension just to see the outliers and the thumbnail stuff. You would need to type in or browse each category manually on YouTube, which takes a lot of sifting. And then you just save the ideas that you like, or you can share to a Pinterest board, which is one of my favorites still. In my opinion, my time is worth more than $12.50 to research a video. And so you got to ask yourself, what is that worth for you? In my opinion, I'd rather not only use the extra time, but it's the energy to make better videos. I just don't want to sift through everything as well. The second person I would not recommend this for is if you're a casual YouTuber. If you don't care about the performance of your videos, actually a lot of my videos recently haven't been performing at all. But that's because I'm doing like soul content. No one cares about my friend passing away or anything like that. And that's completely okay. And if your whole entire channel is based off that, then that's 100% cool. Some people have channels where they just upload their thoughts or they vlog their life, and they do this with zero expectations. In this case, don't worry about performance, just focusing on the art, I guess, right? But this leads me to the most important question that you probably have in your mind. So you're probably wondering, is 1 of 10 actually worth it? And hopefully 1 of 10 isn't watching me in my dark ass closet. For me, there is no better replacement than getting better data for better ideas. And this is especially true for content packaging. In my opinion, it is the most important YouTube activity. It'll make everything easier in your YouTube business by having a better idea. If we think about it, a jump cut isn't going to change the trajectory of your channel, the virality of your video, but an idea concept can. Anyways, if you want to check out 1 of 10 Finder, check out my affiliate link in the channel description below or the pinned comments. I'll go to supporting my team and my channel. And by the way, here's another video that the YouTube algorithm gods want you to watch. See you next time. Peace.